This is Anita Wood, and welcome to this topic snippet video showing you how to access and create Draw.io. Draw.io is a browser tool that you're going to use to create your flowcharts in this course. Here's the flowchart we worked with in the flowcharting introduction video. It looks very tidy, neat, and easy to read. That is what you'll need to create with your assignments when you're asked to create a flowchart. So let's talk about how you're going to accomplish this. You could use Word or Paint, but please don't use them. There is a better tool that's free and available online. It's called Draw.io. Now, Draw.io is a browser-based tool that you can use from any computer, PC or Mac. Anything you create using the tool can be exported as an image. You can also submit that image for your assignment. Draw.io provides you with the ability to save the drawing that you're working on to your computer so you can bring it back up later and make changes. Now there's a link in Blackboard, Module 1, Topic 1, providing you the URL to this tool. Here I have the same URL for you to use. Let's all go out to Draw.io for a quick lesson on how to use the tool. First, you need to open up a browser. Now, I prefer Chrome. And then you'll type in the URL presented here, or just type in Draw.io. Both get you to the same starting point. In the magic computers, here we are. Okay, now, this is the tool setup screen, okay? What you do from here is the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you change your storage. When you click on that, you have all kinds of places in which to save it. To start out with, I would save it to the device. That device is your PC. And then when you do that, it's going to have the dialog window that we're used to in Windows, and you'll choose a particular folder in which you want to keep that. Now, when you download images that we make and export, they will be saved to this location. When you do a save of just the Draw.io drawing, the flowchart, it will be to the same location. Okay, so let me just be quick. I really don't need to change it, and it tells me here where it's going to go. So let's start with a create new diagram. Now, notice there is flowchart here. Now I'm going to click on it just to show you that it doesn't have much value to us. Let's click create. And I'll just save it as test. One of the things that it does for us, which isn't really handy, is it comes up with a sample diagram for us. And we have to get rid of all this stuff to start out, okay? That's why I don't suggest you go in here. I'm just trying to save you this step. We can do and get to where we want to go without creating this to go in and get rid of it. So I'm going to go back and say new, and I'm going to do blank, which is what I suggest you do. Say create, and now I'm going to do demo draw and say save. Okay, this is our standard opening screen, all right? So what we want to do is, remember what I said, we're going to make that flow chart that we were using. Now all I was doing was printing hello out. I've got the flow chart here. I know what we need to do. Just follow along to get the feel. Get rid of that guy. We have a couple things going on. This is an pull down of our symbols. Right now, we got general. We can leave that there. But what we really want to do is get the flow chart and open up flow chart. Because what happens is, even though there's symbols here that look very similar, the thing that helps us out when we're down in here is it tells us the name, that's a decision, that's data, and we want to look for the rectangle, that's a process, okay? And this one is a start. Okay, that's a terminator. That would be stop. So we have, in case you're looking for the names, this ends up making it a little bit easier for us to find them. Okay, so what we're going to do is select a type of shape or symbol from here. Click on it. I'm clicking and dragging. Now, it tries to align it for us and snap it to the grid, which is good. The minute you let go, it drops it. And now we can start typing into our box. Easy peasy. Okay. Now, the first thing we wanted to do in our flow diagram was my start. Always have a start. I'm not going to put the stop there. Some people do that, but when I do it, I never give enough space. So I'm always constantly reorganizing. So to avoid that, I'm dragging over my first process, lining it up. Whether you make them tight or not, that's completely up to you. I tend to like a little bit of space so I can at least see the arrow. And the other thing is, there's going to be times when I need to point to this flow that's going to exist with another arrow, and it gives me a little bit more room. So this was my declarations one. So I'm going to just start right in here. Now I'm going to hit enter. Okay. And I'm down here. Now notice this has it centered. And we talked about some indenting. I don't really like it centered in my process. So I'm coming over here. There's some styling that can be done, and alignment's one of them. I'm going to move it over so that I can do just a little bit of indenting. And I'm going with what I had in the other flowchart. This was that declaration I said we don't have to worry about it too much. We'll go into a lot more detail what's happening here in a later case. But all we really want to know is that we have this holder, this variable, and it's going to be called cal, and it's going to be 0. Now that's a pretty big box. I only have 2 lines in it, and I'm done. So what I'm going to do is just move that up just to save a little bit of real estate, so I don't have to be this really large program going on. Now, I start here and I go down to here. Now, the interesting thing is when you start with flowcharts like this, it's difficult for you to see here, I'm almost sure, on my screen. But when I hover, I get arrows coming out the top, the sides, and the bottom. When I click and hover over one of those arrows and click on it, notice what it does for me. It connects the box I start with, the process, to the process below. And the nice thing is when you do it that way, they're connected. So wherever this guy goes, it stays, which is an important concept, because when we do this, the one thing we want to have is the capability of changing our mind. And it's really nice when you have the ability to keep things together when you move them around. All right, we have another process. It's the decision. Click, drag, and you see the arrows line. The little gold line lets me know I'm a little bit in line. And the thing that I was watching here was count was less than 4. All right, cool. Let's do what we said here. Now notice if I sit here, the arrow is going up. You can see that now. And that's not what I want. So I want to unclick on that, click on this, and then you can see the arrows going in the direction I want. Okay. Now you can do the arrows as you go along, or you can do the arrows when you're done, any point. I'm just doing them so I don't forget. I'm going to scroll down here just a little bit. I need a data process. Data is the parallelogram. I'm going to put it out here a little bit, give myself some space. And what this was going to do, and will do, is going to output the word hello. Okay. Now, what happens is when I follow and get into this flow, I get into this flow because it's a yes. So what I want to do is I want to click here, and I need to drag and do a little bit of work here and drag it. Okay. Now, this is part of our issues. We always have to kind of clean it up a little bit, because you can notice you can change where this goes. You saw when it went to the double-headed arrow, I really wanted it to come to the top, so I drug it up to the top. Okay. Now, this line, it's important I put some more information on here. So I'm double clicking on it. And I would like this line to make sure that I remember that this is if it's a yes, if the decision was yes. Clicking off on that's a little small, isn't it? So I'm double clicking on it again, coming over here, and I'm up in the size just a bit. All right. Now I'm feeling better. I know that when the count is less than 4, I'm coming along this line. So let's continue with this theme. I have another process, my rectangle, which looks more like a square, but we'll take it. Coming up here, line it up just a bit. Now this is where I'm going to update my count. Count equals count plus 1. All right. And I'm going to click off. Okay. Now notice this comes up a lot larger, because what happened was the last thing I did with text was this thing right here, right? So this looks a lot different than that, and I am into continuity. So what I want to do is bring this back down. I'm going to click on this box, bring this back down by coming over here, text, bring it back down to the 11. All right. So my process is, well, 12. Processes all look the same. All right, hello, clicking on the arrow, automatically attaches. Pretty cool. Now, we have one more thing to do. When I'm done with the count, I had an arrow that went back up here before the decisions. Here we go. Come to the count process. Well, let's do one thing. Let's squeeze him up. Now we'll do it. Here's the arrow. Click on it. Come all the way around and attach it. Didn't really attach it. Attach it. Come on. All right, now this is not at all going where I want it. First of all, I want it to come out the bottom, so I'm going to drag that to the bottom. And then this, I want over here. I want it to go that way around because it gets really complicated. That looks a little bit better. What I will tell you is you do spend, and double click, spend a little bit of time to make that touch. Come on, there we go. You do spend a lot of time fussing with the lines. That's okay. It's better than what you would ever have to face in Word or Paint. Okay, so still really works well for us. So there's our little loop, our little repetition. And now I want to terminate it. I don't want to, I want to use the terminator right here. Let's get it set. There it is. And I'm going to terminate it with stop. Okay. And it terminates coming out of here. So I got to select there, click that arrow, drag it down, and I got it. All right. So you can tweak this all you want. Don't get too crazy, because sometimes it really doesn't do much as far as readability, but there it is. See if I can get that on one little area for you. And we've got our flowchart. Now what do we do with it? First thing we want to do is, you never know if it's right, and that you never know if you may want to come back. So let's do this first. Let's save it. And notice here in my save, it was what I said it was, demo draw at .draw.io. This is the file format that Blackboard does not like. Won't even come close to helping us with it. But I saved it, so I have it on my computer, so if I want to change it. Now that I have it here, what I want to do is make it, feeling good, make it my assignment for my submission for my assignment. So I come here and I go down to export, and just export as PNG. It's the first one. All right. Nothing needs to be done here. Just say export. Now you do have an option to change it a bit. I would just change it if it's giving you this option here. Get rid of that draw IO and just do PNG. Okay. and let it go to the device. And notice it's coming on down. And if I open, right click here, show in folder, you could see that I've got it in my downloads. All right, all set and ready to go. Okay, and that's where I was downloading it. All right, so now I can take this, it's a PNG, and then I have it where I want it. Well, I have it if I remember where I want it. Right now it's in downloads. I need to move it and then use it as an assignment. Okay. One thing you need to be aware of is it's outside the scope of this, okay, to show you how to download and upload files from your computer to the Blackboard assignment. If you're really unsure on how to complete this, you need to watch the student tutorial on Blackboard. That's located in the leftmost panel when you log into Blackboard, okay? So that concludes the topic snippet video showing Draw.io.